Oh, hey there.
Hi. You might be wondering to yourself, it's Wednesday, not Monday.
It's Wednesday, yeah.
And we are an hour and a half earlier.
Oh, yeah. Sorry to the West Coast folks.
West Coast people,
we feel for you. You're going to have to get up a little bit earlier. It's a great start to your day when you really think about it.
Set your alarm a little earlier. Just hang out in bed while you're with your phone watching us.
Yep.
We'll wake you up in the morning.
Make a cup of Joe.
So, yes, we're telling you that we have moved from Monday at 11 Central to Wednesday at 9:30 Central. Wow.
Correct, yeah. And there's quite a bit to talk about. You know, I've been out of the office for a while.
I've missed Chez.
Obviously.
Missed her. Glad she's back.
Yeah. So we pretty much had an avalanche of softball events that is still occurring.
It's still going on. It's an ongoing avalanche.
But February, so much softball. I mean, I don't even know where to start.
I know where to start. We're going to start with Mary Nutter.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course.
You know, honestly, I met a lot of fans out at Mary Nutter.
Personal, like fans of you personally?
Fans of FloSoftball. And some people were asking about you, Sarah.
I know. I'm sorry. I had to cover a rodeo event, but I will say this: we sent Chase Long. He's on our CrossFit Elite Fitness channel, and he was struck by how famous you are, Chez. He said that he couldn't walk 10 feet without you being stopped by someone and talking for 20 minutes. He was awestruck by your celebrity. He had no idea. I told him, I was like, Chez is a big deal. I knew this.
Wow. Well, I guess that's the deal.
That's the deal. Chez is a celebrity. We're done.
Look, and it's just because I'm old. You know,
Is that what it is?
You know, I've weathered the softball storm, I've been through the whole cycle of softball.
You have.
When you really think about it.
And I explained that to him.
You know?
I don't think he understood that. From club softball with your dad to college and 3 women's college World Series.
I'd like to think that I'm a friendly person.
And then the coaching. Yeah, she's very friendly.
Coach,
Chez is much more friendly
played, than I am. And now, you know, I'm on FloSoftball quite a bit, obviously, because I run the site. But, yeah, it was cool.
Someone asked if we ran into Marv Osgood. He is a diehard Ducks fan. We got a picture. Oh, we don't have the picture. You did get a picture.
I did. Yeah, it's on my personal. I guess I could pull it up.
People, when you see Chez out, grab her, get a photo with her. She's a big deal.
I don't know.
We have somebody here is asking, is there a game playing? Why, yes, Ed, there are several games playing because we have the spring games and the D9 Sunkist.
That's all going on right now.
Event, which is live right now. So you can watch us, you can watch the live softball, you can watch both of them.
You make your choice. You know, we're not going to judge you either way, but we kind of are. Just kidding.
I have a little bit of judgment all the time. Mary Nutter.
Yes, so I will have to say, this year I saw the most amount of fans come through that gate than I've ever seen in the last 3 years. Yeah, it was pretty incredible. If you were at the UCLA LSU game, just like packed all around.
Both all the way down.
Both sides. Beyond the fence.
And we know, we know those fans behind in the outfield are always there.
Yep. But crazy competition. I was really impressed with Washington, who's currently ranked number 1.
23-0 Washington.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
I think I put my foot in my mouth a little bit with Washington preseason.
I think we all did.
I think I slept on them a little bit.
Well, when you think about who they lost, right? Ali Aguilar, Casey Stengel, and their leading RBI producer from last year is out.
And they're still, let's talk about their stats right now, their offensive stats. You said they're leading the nation in...
I believe it's RBIs.
It's crazy.
And Kirsten Thomas is having a phenomenal year. I think Sis Bates has taken over the shortstop role, and just that left side will not shut up. They are intense. If I had to pick one word for the Washington Huskies, it would be intense. And I think that is like the edge that they have on people. like player for player, they don't care if like on paper you're better than them.
I'm excited.
I just think they come out with a whole lot of intensity, a whole lot of swag. Just really impressed with their gap-to-gap power. They're faster, and I'm really impressed with them. I'm also impressed with Tennessee.
Tennessee has only lost one game. They lost their losses to Florida.
FAU.
Yeah, FAU, which was kind of really early preseason at I think it was in a Florida tournament at the Michelle Smith tournament, maybe. But they look good at Mary Nutter too. Let's talk about how good they look.
Megan Gregg is on pace to have another record season. She's got a big girl swing.
Big girl swing.
I believe against BYU, they hit 4 home runs in one game. Yeah. They led Mary Nutter in home runs.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, and then Kaylin Arnold is having a phenomenal year in the circle. And then she's backed by Maddie Moss. Those two are looking really strong going into SEC play, which actually starts, I believe, this weekend for some teams.
A lot of I think LSU's home openers this weekend.
Yeah, kind of crazy to think about.
We also got to see Oklahoma.
Yes.
At Mary Nutter.
They lost to Arizona.
They lost to Arizona.
You know what?
Which, Arizona.
Arizona looks great. I think a lot of their season will ride on the arm of Taylor McQuillan.
Yeah.
But I think if they could, get some contributions from some of their new players, like Aaliyah Creighton, Malia Martinez, I think they'll be in really good shape. Because you're going to get offensive production from Jessie Harper and Deja Mulapula behind the plate. And Reina Caranco is having a great season to start off with.
Yeah, so they handed the back-to-back champs one of their 2 losses on the season, and then Oklahoma also tied Team Japan at Mary Nutter, which it was super exciting to see. We saw USSSA and Team Japan both weekends. We saw Team Japan at Mary Nutter.
Wow, that team can play defense.
Yeah,
like you watch them take ground balls, not one.
It's just like smooth. It's just smooth butter.
Every throw from the outfield is like right on target.
It's impressive.
It's really impressive.
Side note, if you haven't watched our team feature on Team Japan, don't do it right now because we want you to watch us. But right afterwards, watch our live softball and then go watch Team Japan feature. It's incredible. It's amazing. Yeah. It's all translated. It was awesome. Yeah, Who did we follow?
We followed Iri Yamada. So Yamada, if you remember in the 2008 Olympics, she hit that historic home run that pretty much won the gold medal for Japan. And now she's the team captain.
And 10 years later, she's the team captain.
And she's still legit.
And their eyes are on 2020 in the Olympics. It's cool.
Yeah, it was super cool to be at their practice. I mean, they practice for 7 to 8 hours.
Do they really?
Yes.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yep.
That's very impressive.
But it was a great weekend. Oklahoma took that loss, but I think anyone who doubted what Jocelyn Allo is capable of is in for a rude awakening. Yeah. That girl is like a monster at the plate. I think she hit a home run that went off that fake fan board.
The fake fans?
Yeah.
That are always cheering.
Yeah.
And always there.
I feel good. They make me feel good.
Yeah. And then we also got to see UCLA at Mary Nutter. Yeah. They're 19-0. They don't have any losses.
They're looking really strong. Rachel Garcia, man. She's phenomenal.
Studly.
Yeah. She's so good in the circle. Not only that, she hits. I was really impressed with Rachel Garcia. And then the Perez sisters. I mean, they are so fun to watch, both on the field and in that 1-2 combo at the top of the order.
Somebody's talking about how deep the Pac-12 is, and then Philip is like, the Pac-12 is still sleeping. You guys are on too early. I'm sorry. We're sorry. Phillip. We're sorry, West Coasters. Yeah. Wake up and tune in.
Yeah. I think the Pac is very strong. Arizona State is another team that I think in the next few years, depending on the recruits that they get in, they're going to be a very strong team. They're well coached. And with those transfers from Fresno State, Morgan Howe, their right fielder, is leading the team in hitting.
Forgot about her.
And then they had the transfer, Jade, slipping on the last name, Gutierrez from Texas.
She's a professional, folks.
Yeah.
She's a professional.
And, Fred, you bring up a good point. Yeah, we saw the Ducks take a few losses, but holy cow, Miranda Elish.
Let's talk about Miranda Elish.
ERA.
0.14 is her ERA. 0.14. Did that sink in? Do I need to say it again? 0.14. She is not having any kind of sophomore slump. This season.
Well, I think if you were following the Ducks towards the end of the season, Elish was heating up.
Mm-hmm.
She came in big game situations and handled business. I was loving it because we knew she had this potential as a freshman, but obviously maybe expectations and kind of learning the new environment and new system can play a part in this. But that girl is stepping into her own, and she is lights out.
She has 51 innings pitched. Megan Kleiss leads the staff with 58, and then Maggie Ballant has 31. But 51 innings pitched. She's 8-0. She's given up 1 run. And I'm looking for a strikeout. 67 strikeouts. Kleiss is leading the staff with 79. But it's crazy. People are batting 139 against her.
And I think that's really the story. Like the Oregon pitching staff is doing a great job. And I think their losses haven't been huge. They've been 1-run games. So they're keeping them in the game, and it's just a matter of cashing in.
Of all the teams that we've talked about, they have the most losses at 18-4. But I doubt that they're concerned about it. I'm not concerned about it. I feel like they're.
I mean, they set themselves up with a doozy of a schedule going into Mary Nutter. With A&M, LSU, and they came from, I believe, Puerto Vallarta, and then flew to California, and then they flew to Florida State to play Florida State. They lose to Florida State.
Their preseason tournament schedule was no joke, no joke at all. So man.
And then Oklahoma is going to be flying there to play them at home. That's going to be a game.
Speaking of Oklahoma, both of their pitchers have a .34. I said both. Both pitchers have a .34 ERA. Page squared. I'm going to call them that from now on.
I like that.
.34 ERA for both of them. They're both ranked 6th. That's bananas. Right. Are you kidding me?
But are you surprised?
I'm a little. Am I allowed to be surprised? I'm a little surprised.
I'm not surprised. I mean, even if Oklahoma took, I don't know, 10 losses, they would still find a way at the end. They're that kind of team.
I get it. I'm just a little surprised. I'm just being honest. I'm just a little surprised.
I get it. And then, obviously, we can't forget about the Gators, who didn't give up a run.
We got to see them at Judy Garman.
Yeah, they didn't give up a run at Judy Garman. Of course, pitching is phenom.
Kelly Barnhill's .25, number 4. .25, number
Barnhill and Ocasio combined for a no-hitter.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
That's not easy to do, folks.
No, it's not.
And then the amount of runs that they put up, too.
Bananas.
They're not like, last year we were talking about their offense, but to me, they're hitting the ball extremely well. Amanda Lorenz, she was just named SEC Player of the Week.
Yeah. We knew she was going to be. I mean, we
still
knew
have Kaylee Gavistad.
Yeah.
Nicole DeWitt.
So we're just gonna
Hannah Adams.
The 6 or 7 teams that we're talking about right now. And if you're just joining us, we've been talking because we're a wee bit earlier than normal. We've been talking about Washington. They're undefeated. Florida has 1 loss. OU has 2 losses and a tie on the season. UCLA is undefeated. Oregon has 4 losses, but their pitching staff is phenomenal. They're just a great team, and they had a stacked preseason schedule. And then Tennessee only has 1 loss, and we didn't mention A&M, but they only have 3 losses.
If Tennessee does not make the World Series, I feel for the Vols fans because that's just, wow.
We got Robert. Robert on the West. Robert is awake and he's attentive and he is ready to go this morning. He's saying UCLA or Washington takes it all.
That's bold.
That is bold, Robert.
Robert, you know,
I like where you're going.
Enthusiasm, but let's wait and see. Because in my mind, right now, both teams will need, like, they're riding the arms of Rachel Garcia and Taryn Alvello.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
They're both undefeated.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Robert also.
Now, can they do it? Yeah, absolutely. We've seen it done so many times in the past. Of course it's doable.
Robert also thinks that USC needs a softball team. I agree with you, Robert.
Yeah. You come up with the multi-million-dollar stadium
Hey, we saw Duke. We saw Duke. We have Clemson. I think USC is next.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I think it's a great idea. Of course, Southern California, hotbed for softball. No one's doubting that.
Clint Walker's tired of us talking about pitchers. He wants to talk about good hitters.
Kirsten Thomas. Did you miss the whole Megan Gregg conversation?
It may have been. It's early, Chez.
Yeah.
It's early.
Megan Gregg, to me, has a big girl swing.
Amanda Lorenz.
Amanda Lorenz. I think Aaliyah Jordan, Bree Perez. The UCLA, lineup is very stacked.
Aaliyah Jordan is hitting .540 right now. She's ranked number 9 in batting average right now.
And another just sleeper, just Vanessa Shippey from Oklahoma State. I think
I like what you just did there.
She's a great hitter. Georgia's swinging the bat really well.
Georgia's swinging the bat.
Obviously, you have Alyssa DiCarlo and Courtney. You get what I'm saying. Sorry, there's a lot of names to remember, folks.
And it's early for us, folks. Amanda Sanchez at Missouri. We didn't really talk about Missouri too much, but she's batting .547.
Yep.
She's ranked 8th in batting average.
And let's not forget Jessie Warren, one of the most underrated third basemen in the country, broke the ACC home run record and then also broke the RBI record.
I'm glad you always remember her. You put her on Team USA for 2020, and the rest of us kind of slept on her at third.
It's just when I think about...
She's phenomenal.
When I think about the whole package for a third baseman, she
has it.
She's it.
She has it.
And she's cool.
She's the full package.
Yeah.
And she's cool.
Yeah,
man.
If Chez
thinks you're cool, teammate. You've made it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the top hitters.
There you go.
Not in a nutshell. Obviously, we've got. I'm going to take a little deeper dive into this. The transfers from Louisiana are doing pretty well with Aaliyah Creighton and DJ Sanders. Oh, wow. How about Chelsea Sigurn?
Yeah.
From Tennessee, who...
Yeah, we were talking about Megan Gregg, but...
Yeah. It's not easy being able to bat behind Megan Gregg, but the girl's put up 33 RBIs.
Yeah.
She struggled weekend 1, and then
33 RBIs already, what a bat, man.
Yep. And then Kirsten Thomas with 29 RBIs, and Megan Gregg with 28. Man. Wow. Yep.
Yeah, I think you got to see Tennessee at Oklahoma in OKC this year.
And another sleeper on Washington and why they're so high in RBIs, Julia DuPont. She's a senior, hasn't gotten a whole lot of playing time in the last 3 years, but she's 10th in the nation in RBIs, 27.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo.
So, I mean, there's a lot of great hitters to talk about when I'm going down the list of.
We could do a whole show on just the great hitters that are going on right now.
Well, Oregon, Gwen Savekis having a great season, putting up the ribbies, but a freshman to watch, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Jana Johns.
There you go. I feel like we need some kind of like.
Yeah, I know.
Studio guy, make a note. We need like
make that happen.
Freshman to watch or player to watch. We need like some kind of
graphic or sound effect.
Sound effect.
Play it to watch.
Yep.
We're gonna work on it.
Yeah,
we're gonna work on it.
We'll work on that. But one of the things that we're seeing across the country, and we were touching on UCLA and LSU earlier, but the obstruction call.
Yeah. Wow. What a great segue. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a little early. I feel like I'm going to be a little bit more subdued in this new time slot. Mm-hmm. But obstruction.
Salty Sarah's still sleeping? I guess she's sleeping.
I might. Salty Sarah likes to sleep in, but
Salty Sarah likes to sleep in.
Yes. Wednesday. My heart rate might go up on these. Are you going to roll them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk. Go ahead.
All
Go
right.
ahead and roll it.
So the first one we're going to talk about is a play during the UCLA LSU game at Mary Nutter. And obviously, if you watch the World Series, there are a number of obstruction calls. So we're going to let this roll. All right. So the throw is home. The obstruction call is made. So I think, you know, the rule as it stands, right?
Move the player bar up. Yeah.
She is in the path, but I think the part that I have trouble with is the ball clearly beats her.
I mean, we're talking about 5, 6 feet?
I mean, the ball is in her hand already.
Yeah.
It's in her glove. To me, you know, I'm not an official, but I just think it's a no call.
Yeah. I mean,
where's she gonna go?
What is that player supposed to do? Like jump back over the line and then like jump back to make the play. And she's not even. It's not close. She's out. She's 5 feet away from the ball and she's 10 feet away from the plate. Right? Like she's not. It makes me angry. It's just. Yeah, I agree. I
understand. I understand. Obviously, get this just so we're straight. I'm not opposed to this rule. I'm not. I think it is a chance to make the obstruction rule clearer, and obviously, coaches have to take into account how they're teaching players to set up when there are plays at the plate or when there are plays at any base for that matter. But I just think it's just think about if this were to happen at the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah.
In the World Series.
That kind of bullshit call decides who wins.
I mean, that's kind of it's asinine to even think that would be an obstruction call when the ball is already in her glove.
Let's play the other one. I think the other one is way more overt. I mean, that one is ridiculous. Anybody who knows me thinks that I would think both of these are absurd. But this one was from D9, D9 Citrus Classic, which we streamed 2 weekends. But I mean, and if you look at the comments on all of these, it's just like 90% of the people think these are BS calls. So people, please watch. I want you back that up. Look at where he calls obstruction. Come forward. Just look. She's 2/3 of the way down the line. She's got a third of the base path left, and he already calls obstruction. She's not even close. She's not even close. Mm-hmm. This is a terrible call. Shame on the NCAA. This is awful. Oh look, Salty Sarah did show up this morning.
There she is. This
back. Is terrible. This is terrible.
She's back.
Shame on the NCAA. I don't like the rule. I understand. I understand the reason behind the rule, but the rule is not intended to create plays like that.
Yes,
that's awful. That's terrible.
I agree, but on the same, I'm agreeing that the call that was made, the call has to have some amount of subjectivity, right? Because here's the deal: if the ball clearly beats her, there should be no call. She's out.
Yeah. Yeah, like what
she's just out.
Like, am I supposed to like stand over here and do this to like tag her?
Now I'm gonna draw a comparison. It is the same rule that is used in the MLB and NCAA baseball.
Yeah.
But you're not seeing
calls like that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's bad. It's shameful. Asinine is a good word too. I like that word. That's an SAT word. Folk, teenagers out there, if you're asinine, look it up. It's an SAT word.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Just dropping knowledge.
Look, I think there has to be some level. I get it. Like, we don't want to block the runner's path, and we can fix that by like where we set up. But I just think, judgment call. If the ball like flat out beats her,
yeah,
let it go.
Yeah. And I mean, they're so close to the line. Both of these plays, like the fielders were so close to the line, like it.
And to the umpires' credit, they're being watched, by their peers and their superiors during these plays.
Yeah,
it's not like they're trying to get it right. I understand that, but I think what I'm asking is like, I think some level of subjectivity. Mm-hmm. Has to come into there is some, right?
Yeah,
it can't be like so black and white, especially when the ball beats her by 3 or 4 steps.
Yeah, I'll use the word common sense. Like, if she's 2/3 of the way down the line and the catcher's already holding the ball.
I just feel like just don't make.
What is happening? What are we doing?
She's out.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
what are we
she's
doing?
out. So that's pretty much like my thought on that. Any comments? I haven't been watching.
Most people are just saying BS and bad call, which I like you people. Somebody did ask a question. It's my understanding that the rule is to prevent. Which one?
Go ahead.
Oh.
I was just reading Adam's comment.
It's my understanding that the rule is to prevent contact between catcher and runner. Correct. So at what point can the out be made? That's a question, and then Adam has a follow-up question. So many questions from Adam this morning. Mm-hmm. We like it. Thank you.
I know, that's what I was
Do we need to make lines like in T-ball? If you are past the halfway mark, you safely advance to the next base.
Yeah, right? I know.
I like salty Adam. I like salty Adam.
It kind of feels like that. I know, honestly, Adam, I think the rule was made to create greater clarity between coaches and umpires and players as far as like what constitutes obstruction. Mm-hmm. That's my understanding. So I feel like I don't want to call like that dramatically changing the outcome of a championship game. It's just it's asinine to think about. Mm-hmm. So I just think there'll probably be more discussions about this, but I think some level of subjectivity as far as, what the ball in both those instances, it beats the runner by a significant amount.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm totally open to debate about that because I want a better understanding, because obviously if you're a catcher, you're just like, I'm just catching the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm...
Well, think about what happens like when there's a really hard ground ball right to the first baseman and like the runner's clearly out. Like they just stand in the base path and tag them, right? Like that's not obstruction. Like field the ball, just you're going to be out. Like here, we're done. Like the same thing is happening on both of these plays because the ball beats them by so much. Like the catcher had no choice but to stand there and like wait for the runner to come to them.
Yeah.
And tag them. Like it was.
I do think, though, for the coaches out there, they're going to have to start practicing where they set up. And then also, how are we receiving errant throws?
Yeah.
What can we do to avoid this? Because now it's a matter of these teams being able to beat this rule. Because we see how it's going to be called this season. So now it's a matter of adjusting. That's my deal.
I've heard a couple people say that what Steven said, and they're comparing it to what a catch is in the NFL. I I think it is causing as much consternation to softball fans as that rule causes to football fans. I completely agree, Stephen.
Yeah, right on with that.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on. The other rule we haven't touched on, and I'm sorry, we'll bring it about maybe on the next show, but the whole slapping rule where your whole foot needs to be in the box. We saw that call made a number of times in several of the tournaments that we've live streamed. That's something we haven't talked about.
That'll be a fun one.
Mm-hmm. So, but what's next on FloSoftball? Obviously, we've got the spring games going on. We've got the Sunkiss games coming on FloSoftball, and this weekend, for the first time, the Fresno State Invitational. Will be live streamed, and you can see Cal, Monmouth, Fresno State, of course, and more. And then also, if you've seen it, we are doing Big Ten games. Big Ten plus games on FloSoftball.
You should go to the events page on our website and just scroll through that.
There's so
many. Yeah, there's so many games.
Okay.
You have no idea how much softball is coming your way. Like in years past, it was like Easton, Titan Classic, Mary Nutter, Judy Garman. That's what we gave you. So much more softball.
Yep.
Just scroll through the events.
So tomorrow you can catch Utah versus Maryland, and then we'll have Miami of Ohio, Maryland, more Utah, Yale, and Maryland. We've got Michigan State, Nebraska, Indiana, Purdue, Penn State, Rutgers. It just keeps going. Northwestern, Illinois, Minnesota.
We have 30 games from now until April 1st that are on our events page.
Boom, check it out.
So much softball. And just in case you're joining us a little late, because we were super early, 9:30 a.m. Central Time Wednesday is our new slot for the time being.
Yep.
So set your alarms and don't miss us.
All right, see you, folks.